Hey everybody, it's Party Elite, and with 2018 coming to a close, it's time to get excited for 2019. With a whole 12 months of fresh releases of varying sizes and qualities to look at, I thought I'd dig deep and present to you my 19 most anticipated strategy games of the year. I'm going to try and cover everything from classic RTS games to tactical turn-based games and everything in between. If you have any games you're excited for yourself, let me know in the comments down below, and as always, if you enjoy the video, make sure you subscribe for more strategy gaming content. Now let's not waste any more time. What does 2019 hold for us strategy gaming fans? The First Men is a real-time 4X strategy game with a most charming art style set to release when it's ready, which, if we're lucky, will be early in 2019. The game, in single and multiplayer, has you starting from the very first couple in your society, building a custom Adam and Eve out of a large variety of possible combinations, proceeding to lead them through all the challenges of the harsh world, hoping for survival and world domination. As a character-driven game, there are countless traits and abilities that your citizens might develop, and as you build your empire and cities up, you'll be exploring the world around you and engaging in real-time card-based battles. There are a lot of very interesting concepts and mechanics being discussed, and though we haven't seen too much gameplay, I'd say what little we've seen so far has been quite impressive and intriguing, and have rather easily made this game one of my most anticipated of 2019. At the Gates is a 4X strategy game releasing on January 23rd, 2019, and it'll take us back to the Dark Ages with the lead designer of Civilization V at the helm. As a lord after the fall of the Roman Empire, you have to lead your people at a time when the world was harsh and unforgiving. Shifting seasons will change the map and affect resources and strategic paths, creating room for survival elements, all while characters, or clans as this game represents them, evolve their own traits, desires, skills, and expertise over time, changing how you might approach any given situation with the clans that serve and survive under your command. Some clans, for example, are predisposed to some professions, while some clans have climate preferences such as not wanting to be out in the cold. This all should bring an interesting bit of internal politics and management, and that's something I'm always a fan of. After 7 years in development and a successful Kickstarter that left many people waiting, it's exciting to finally see this beautiful game come to life. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is coming out January 24th, 2019, and will bring us an excellent real-time strategy game focused entirely on space battles. Set in the grim dark future of the Warhammer 40k universe, we're going to see 4 story-driven campaigns for 4 different factions, as well as intense multiplayer action with 12 factions, each having their own mechanics, approaches, and systems in place. Easy to learn but difficult to master with asymmetric design, keeping things fresh and interesting. I've had the chance to play some Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 during its closed beta, and I was instantly hooked. Controlling firing angles, micromanaging targeting systems, timing abilities and maneuvers, all while looking absolutely gorgeous and sounding fantastic. It's definitely one to look out for, and if you're curious for more information, check out the gameplay I've posted on this channel over the last month.
No matter how fleeting their existence, I welcome all to a place in my carefully curated collection.
Warparty is a classic real-time strategy game set to release sometime in 2019, though it is currently available in early access if you're so inclined. When I say classic RTS, I mean we're going to see traditional resource gathering and base building alongside technological upgrades and recruitment, all for the purpose of destroying your foes in single and multiplayer. A multitude of environments will provide a change of scenery, with the talents shaping your tribe's chieftain as you play, and a variety of magical abilities like thunderbolts and meteor showers that'll help you overcome challenges. It's nice to see old school RTS games still kicking around, and though the game is in early access right now, I'm looking forward to a full release before trying it out and passing judgment. Driftland: The Magic Revival is an RTS that was supposed to release in 2018, but it seems to be staying in early access for the time being, with a hopeful release sometime in 2019. Personally, the game brings about some serious nostalgia, reminding me of Netstorm because of all the floating islands. Procedurally generated worlds will have you in command of your people as a mage overlord of one of 4 races, each with their own pros and cons, of course. Bringing parcels of floating land together to expand your domain, you'll indirectly control your units through the assignment of general tasks rather than direct control through clicks at high actions per minute. The game will supposedly have single-player skirmishes alongside multiplayer gameplay and a story mode as well. Now, this all sounds very promising, and the game looks fantastic even in early access. I'm hoping to get my hands on it soon, and the very positive reviews on Steam all indicate a successful future for this game.
The fate of Driftland lies in your hands.
Legion is a very interesting looking cyberpunk RTS game that should be releasing in Q1 of 2019. Playing as a prophet, Legion will have you converting people into followers of your faith to then be used as units in your battle for religious conquest. After designing your own faith by selecting various dogmas, you bring cultists into the fold who proceed to further grow your influence through a variety of less than savory means. I'm really excited for this one. The cyberpunk aesthetic is cool enough, but the strange religious angle to the whole thing is very interesting, and though we haven't seen much of the game, I was instantly hooked when I came across it. Here Be Dragons is an absolutely zany looking game set to release in Q1 2019, taking place during the Age of Exploration. You lead an armada of lunatics tasked with clearing the path for Columbus. That's right, this is the untold story of the Avant Armada that killed all manner of maritime monstrosities that would otherwise have prevented Christopher Columbus's journey to the New World. The sheer level of satire alone is worth investigating, but there also seems to be some pretty interesting mechanics, traversing a living map, fighting monsters in tactical battles using assignable dice rolls, dealing with bureaucracy, and leading a company of weirdos, madmen, and oddballs whose vices and virtues fuel the journey, according to the Steam description. It all sounds very exciting, and it's nice to see a strategy game with a sense of humor. I seriously can't wait till it ships, can't wait to check this one out. Pax Nova is a sci-fi 4X game currently in early access, marked as coming soon. With 15 factions to choose from divided among 3 races, the game promises a decent bit of variety at launch as you partake in all the standard aspects of a 4X game. Explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Normally this is restricted to a planetary or a galactic level, but in the case of Pax Nova, we're seeing planets and the space between them being contested as you struggle to conquer the stars. Complex randomly generated tech trees, interspecies diplomacy, the conquest of space, and grand-scale war are all part and parcel of this turn-based game, and the promise of varied playstyles suggests a fair bit of longevity as well. I'm looking forward to all the quests, unique faction mechanics, unit and ship customization, and most of all, the sheer scale of the game. I'm really liking the idea of a sci-fi, space exploration 4X game that allows you to not only conquer planets, but the space around them as well. It's a nice sense of scale. Again, just looking forward to it. Age of Wonders Planetfall is taking this turn-based 4X empire building series into the sci-fi genre. Due out sometime in 2019, we've already seen plenty of advertising, including some great gameplay footage over live streams, and I'm very excited to see how a series that is often cited as one of the best in the genre is going to tackle the new setting. Apart from the standard expectations of a 4X game that involve empire building akin to Civilization, one of the most intriguing elements, in my opinion, is the inclusion of turn-based tactical combat similar to games like XCOM. This blend of 2 very different scopes within one game is a really interesting take, and beyond that, we're seeing some very cool races, each with their own visual flair, heroes, mechanics, and more. The game is vibrant, colorful, and characterful, and I can't wait to check it out. Total War 3 Kingdoms takes the Total War series to China with a 2-pronged approach, covering the fantastical romance of the Three Kingdoms approach, as well as the historical records of the Three Kingdoms. The Total War games blend turn-based empire-building gameplay with real-time battles in a unique way that the folks at Creative Assembly continue to hone over releases. Recently, we've been learning about some massive developments in how diplomacy is going to work in this latest addition to the series, and beyond that, we've heard about an intense focus on character relationships, and we've seen some gorgeous battles. With a release date of March 7th, 2019, the game is basically right around the corner, and there will be plenty more coverage on this channel as it is one of my favorite game series.
Death would be a mercy.
Xenonauts 2 is a turn-based tactical game set to release on the 14th of March, taking us to an alternate history Cold War in the modern era setting, where the Cold War never ended thanks to alien intervention. The game is very clearly inspired by XCOM with lots of customization options, a strategic layer that includes technological upgrades and base management, and of course, the geoscape from where you control the larger maneuvers against the alien threat. Procedurally generated missions should mean a relatively endless amount of fun to be had, and with RNG taking away beloved soldiers at every turn, I imagine some very emotional, draining, but fun playthroughs will be happening here. I can't wait to see how the game holds up compared to the onslaught of XCOM-like games that we've had lately, especially with Phoenix Point on the docket in 2019 as well. Imperator Rome from Paradox takes us to the time period just as Rome is beginning to grow its borders and lets us take charge of any of the countless states that existed at the time, from the Iberian Peninsula to the Indian subcontinent, from Scandinavia to the Horn of Africa. This map is absolutely huge with many options. We've seen a fair bit of gameplay thanks to a recent press event, and the weekly dev blogs have given us some great insight to this game that has you building an empire, warring with neighbors, managing local populations, and dealing with the many facets of statecraft. Paradox strategy games have a penchant for being very complex and deep, with a multitude of intertwining mechanics, and their games tend to get many years of post-release support, both free and paid, keeping the game fresh for years to come. If you've played Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, or Victoria, this game looks like it'll be the penultimate combination of mechanics from these games, and it's technically the sequel to Europa Universalis Rome. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I can't wait to get my hands on it and cover it on this channel. And while a release date hasn't been set yet, the Ides of March, that is to say the 15th of March, would make an excellent tie-in to Roman history, what with it being the day Julius Caesar was assassinated. Thea 2, The Shattering, is currently in early access, looking to release in 2019, and it's going to bring some very interesting mechanics when it does. Another turn-based 4X game, this time blended with survival and RPG elements, Thea 2 has the player taking control of a deity, influencing the future of a small number of believers in the hopes of survival and perhaps glory. Procedurally generated worlds with inventory management, crafting, and town-building options blends a variety of genres, and the card-based battle system is very different from anything I've seen in a 4X game, and it does seem quite promising, providing an interesting change of pace from the typical gameplay loop of a turn-based 4X game. There are choose-your-own-adventure moments, there's a leveling system, there's trade. The game really comes at the genre from multiple angles and creates a compelling result that I can't wait to get my hands on and review. Conan Unconquered was announced recently and is being developed by the same folks that brought us the great Star Wars Empire at War. Built on the same wave-based gameplay approach of They Are Billions, we're going to see resource management, base building, troop command, and hero units with special abilities, alongside sorcerers and massive avatars. We know very little about the game, but we're bound to learn a lot very soon, as it is due out in 2019, and I'm glad to see more games attempt this interesting strategy survival approach. I'm very curious to see how this one turns out, and I can't wait to crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and to hear the lamentations of their women.
Remember what you fight for. Remain unconquered!
Steel Division 2 continues the War Games franchise with a sequel to World War II strategy game, Steel Division. This time, we're going to the Eastern Front, and rather than just giving us the massive battles like we had in Steel Division, it'll also bring the campaign map, turn-based gameplay of previous War Games games. This means that apart from building and managing your deck of cards that determine what units will be available to you at any given time on the battlefield, you're also going to be managing troop movement on a grander scale with more strings attached on a campaign map. this will definitely make Steel Division 2 stand out among competitors, and I'll be honest, the extremely intricate systems of these games have always been a love of mine. You're balancing multiple different unit classes, each with multiple subclasses based on weapon types, ranges, armor, stealth capabilities, recon capabilities, armor spread, all of this with urban and open field mechanics, line of sight considerations, and little things like being able to reverse tanks or losing accuracy when you're barreling down the countryside at full speed. I have always loved the War games. They're like a modern counterpart to Total War, which is, like I mentioned, a favorite series of mine, so I'm really looking forward to Steel Division 2 and seeing what Eugen has to offer with this one. Phoenix Point is coming out in June of 2019, and it promises to take XCOM-style games to the next level, considering the man who gave birth to the XCOM franchise is in charge of the project. Having played the backer builds that have released thus far, I've had the pleasure of playing the turn-based tactical portions of the game, as well as the initial renditions of the strategic layer, the Geoscape. With squads sometimes getting as large as 16 individuals, and with enemies often getting as big as buildings, we can expect some pretty intense combat situations. The most interesting aspects, in my opinion, include the aiming mechanism and the evolving enemies. The former means you're able to actually aim your shots with accuracy determined by range and weapon type, and that means you're able to shoot and choose what you want to hit and where you want to hit it, all in the hopes of avoiding enemy armor, their shields, and cover, getting different effects from destroying different parts of an enemy. Slower movement, broken weapons, death. The latter is a direct response to the former, where we see the enemy aliens evolve to respond to your strategies, getting new weapons, armor, and other buffs that are a direct evolutionary response to your behavior as a player. The game is looking absolutely amazing as well, even in its early backer stages, and I'll be covering this one right up until it releases. I'm super excited for this one. After all, I am a backer. Iron Harvest, another game that I'm actually backing through its Kickstarter, is set to release sometime in 2019, and it's looking like a very promising game to come out of a very successful Kickstarter campaign. The developers have a solid record of delivering great games out of prior Kickstarter campaigns, and this one looks no different. Clearly inspired by the likes of Company of Heroes as far as gameplay mechanics are concerned, this one is set in the alternate history world of 1920s plus, where man and machine fight side by side. Apart from 3 story-driven campaigns, we're also going to see some great multiplayer action, skirmishes against the AI, and challenge maps for solo challenges against the AI as well. The developers insist that the game is about tactics over actions per minute, and playing the early alphas shows the initial indications that this statement might be true. Massive mechs, destructible environments, and Company of Heroes style gameplay, complete with cover-based movement and some light base building. Iron Harvest is definitely one to keep an eye out for, and is most certainly going to be getting a lot more coverage on this channel right up to release. Phantom Brigade will hopefully be seeing a 2019 release date, bringing some fantastic mech-on-mech tactical violence to the PC. When I first came across this game late in 2018, I was instantly enamored. From the art style to the animations, everything looks very high-octane and energetic, and the action itself is absolutely glorious. Front Mission and Battletech fans have something fresh to look forward to here, and there seems to be a great deal of focus on unique factors that come into play at this scale. For example, dropping buildings on enemy mechs to cause damage. The constant chatter and highly flashy user interface all help keep the action flowing smoothly, and the vibrant colors and mech designs are very inviting compared to the dull grays and browns that can be common in this type of setting. Everything you're seeing here is super early in development, but even this footage immediately piqued my interest, and I wanted to make sure people knew about this potential gem. Age of Empires 4 has been shrouded in mystery since it was first revealed, but despite having seen literally nothing outside of one teaser trailer that shows no gameplay, there's still a distinct possibility that the game will be revealed in the summer and launched in the fall of 2019. I have very high hopes for the game. Relic will be looking to put out a high-quality product with their distinguished pedigree and the expectations that come attached with bringing a franchise like Age of Empires back to life. Relic, I don't think, can afford to mess this one up. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see what unique approaches they bring. After all, Relic has brought us some of the most fantastic strategy games, in my opinion, in the history of strategy game.
Our thirst for adventure. Exploration.
discovery and conquest will stand the test of time. Together, we have battled through history. Now, a new age is upon us.
And that's 19 strategy games to look forward to in 2019. I tried to get in a decent variety of subgenres, but if you are looking for something specific, let me know down below and I might go digging deeper, like I plan on doing for city builders in a separate video. Otherwise, feel free to let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments as well. I can't possibly have captured everything here, and I'm always keeping an eye out for more games to showcase on the channel. For example, next year we should be seeing Gears Tactics, Gates of a Ruined Empire, Edge of Chaos, Warcraft 3 Reforged, Desperados 3, and Necromunda Underhive Wars. These are just a handful of the many games that I intend to look at in depth as well as the year goes on that I didn't include here on this list. There's lots of good strategy gaming to look forward to, and I'm very excited to see the genre very much alive and thriving. If you want more strategy gaming content, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I will bring a constant flow of previews, reviews, let's plays, guides, and more. Apart from that, I'd like to give a massive thanks to my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis, and a massive thanks to you all for watching. I hope you had a fantastic 2018, and here's to a great 2019. Cheers.